What's up, guys? It is time to show you my classroom. A lot of you guys have been asking what it looks like, how I've been decorating. A lot of you guys have been looking at my previous videos and looking in the background about what I have so far. And thank you to everyone who's been commenting and telling me that it looks great. I appreciate it so much. I put a lot of work into it, and I am glad that you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. A couple of things I do want to go over before I show you my classroom. Number one, a lot of things that are in this room I've accumulated over the past 2 or 3 years. So I've had it in my mind how my classroom would look. I've either made it, a while ago. You'll see in a minute a bunch of alphabet posters, number posters, different things that I've just made 1-2.5 years ago. Also things that I've bought over time. I started stockpiling for a lot of things that I knew I wanted in my classroom about 1 or 2 years ago as well. So there's that piece. There's also things that have been given to me from other teachers. I've been given, I don't know how many library books that won't even fit in my library. I've been given all types of supplies, materials, organizational tools. I've been getting a lot of things from other teachers, especially from my experience with working in a school. Not only just a school, multiple schools. Doing my residency, I've been placed in great schools where they just had things they didn't need, and they thought that I would have a need for it, and so they just gave it to me. I'm so thankful for that. Something else that's happened that usually does not happen. As you guys know, I took that interim position mid-year while student teaching, and when the old teacher left, I did not have a lot of things. I literally had a bookshelf and the desks that were in the room, and that's all the furniture that I had. And talking to the principal, I was telling, I might need a rug, or I might need an easel, or I need more bookshelves. And she said, whatever you need, write it down. We'll get you as much as we can. She gave me, these books are like these that kind of have just all types of stuff in them as far as organization tools, storage, math manipulatives, just all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I was getting about 3 of them, and each one, see how thick that is? Each one that I got was about this thick. I got those, and he said, go through whatever you like, mark that page, circle it, let us know what it is that you actually want, and we'll try our best to get you the things that you need. I don't know how common that is with first-year teachers, but for me, that's something that also helped me out tremendously. So I had a lot of support in that area as far as getting things for my classroom. So obviously, I don't think my room is going to look exactly like how a first-year teacher's classroom would look, but in my eyes, I'm not really a first-year teacher either. But I'm super excited to show you guys. I just want you to keep that in mind when I show you everything, and let's get started. All right, so now that I've shown you guys kind of an overview of what my room looks like, I'm gonna go ahead and go around and show you piece by piece. So as you walk through the front door, to the left are my kids' mailboxes. Right above it is their turn-in bin. Whenever they have a finished assignment, it goes right here, so that way I know that it needs to be graded and then put in their mailboxes to go home. These are some of my kids' book boxes where they're gonna store their library books from the school, their classroom library books, and possibly some of their interactive journals. I don't know if I want to put their interactive journals in their book boxes yet, or if I'm going to keep those. We'll just kind of decide on how much they put in the book boxes. Right above the book boxes are some more mailboxes, but I'm going to use it kind of as like my teacher hub. So any papers that I have, some just odd end stuff, a lot of like clinic passes, different types of paperwork, stuff I get from the office needs to go home, stuff that I get from my kids that need to go to the office. I'm going to label these, and I'm going to have each slot represent something different, and I'm going to use that kind of like as my teacher hub, so that way I'm not hoarding papers or anything like that on my desk. And then if you turn to the right when you first walk in, I have a filing cabinet right here. What I'm going to use on this side of the filing cabinet are some flexible seating options. These right here actually came from Sassy, Savvy Simple Teaching on her Teachers Pay Teachers account. And what it is just it has a whole lot of flexible seating options. Now, I only have one out right now because this is the first flexible seating option that we're going to do. As the year goes on, I'm going to add not all of these, but there are going to be more and more options that my kids will be able to choose from. Now, on the products from Teachers Pay Teachers, there is it is editable, but the only thing that's editable are the numbers on there. So whenever you buy the product, you can't change the pictures, you can't change the names of them, but you can change a number. Now, I did not want to put a set number on my seating options because there might be some days where I want all of the options to be available, and there are some days where I don't want any of them to be an option. So what I did was I just deleted the number that was on there, and then there was a blank spot, so that way I can write in the number. So this is just dry erase, and it'll come right off, and I can write how many kids can go to a certain seating option. So that's what I'm going to do with that. And then these are their numbers that they're going to use to choose what option they have. Like I said before, I use a number system as well as a color system. And that color system, if you guys haven't noticed, this matches with their book boxes. It matches with their individual student supply boxes, which we'll talk about in a minute. And it also coincides with some other things that I'll go over in just a moment. But that's what I'm going to be using this side of the filing cabinet for, is for choosing flexible seating options. Right next to the mailboxes are some drawers. The first 3 drawers are for me and the first grade EAs. So the first drawer is any copies that need to be made. I'll just stick the paper in there. I'll put a sticky note on it that says how many I need, and then the EA for first grade will print those off for me. The second one is a graded bin. Now, I talked about the turn-in bin where they turn in their assignments. So it'll go from this bin to get graded. Once it's graded, it'll go in this bin right here. That lets me know that I need to put it in the grade book, and then I can send it home. So whenever I stay after school to put stuff in the grade book, I'll just take this red bin, I'll take it out, I'll go through our online grade book, put that stuff in, and then those papers go from that red bin to that green bin. That green bin means it's ready to go home. That means that my paper passer, whoever gets that classroom job, they can take those papers out and put it in my kids' mailboxes for them to go home. But that's how I use that system right there. And then right below it are going to be my phonics tubs that I know I've talked to you guys about, but that's where I'm going to store all that right there. Next to that are my iPad cases. I have 10 iPads, and since the class average is about 20 kids in first grade, I'll have 2-to-1 iPads. But actually, I'm starting off the year, I think, with 18. We still haven't gotten our finalized lists. We get that actually on Monday, so I'm super excited to see if my list changed or if it stayed the same. Right next to that, I have an organizer, and it just holds different things. The first drawer holds extra math manipulatives that we'll use throughout the year. The second one is dry erase boards, and the third one are clipboards. Now, my kids will know that the only time they'll need a clipboard is if they're sitting at a flexible sitting space that does not have a hard surface. So if my kids are sitting at any of the desks or any of the tables, that table, they'll know that if they're sitting there, they don't need a clipboard. But if they're going to be using the pillows, if they're going to be using these seats right here, if they're going to be spread out around the room, they'll know to come and get a clipboard whenever we do an assignment. So that's what that is for. Extra headphones. And then right here is where I store my big books. Right here is one of my flexible seating options, a video rocker. And then I'm gonna back up so I can show you this big old great wall that I'm going to be using for my math wall. So just going from left to right, first off right here, this is gonna be my class jobs bulletin board. I'll move up a little bit so you can kind of see what that looks like. But I have 12 jobs in my classroom. I do not think I'm gonna let my kids switch it. I want it to kind of be a yearly, or at least not switch it until after Christmas. I'm going to really hype up these different jobs, and I'm going to have my kids apply for the jobs, tell me which one they like the best, give me a reason why. So I'm really going to want them to buy into it. And then once they get that job, they're sticking with it. There's not going to be any, I don't want to do it anymore. There's not going to be so-and-so take that job from me. Nope, that's your job. You applied for it. This is what you're going to be doing. And I'll talk a little bit more in my next video about how I'm going to do my classroom jobs whenever we get into the first week of school. Right above that are my math practice posters. I made those posters myself. I actually kind of seen some similar to this on the internet somewhere, I don't know where, but I thought it was pretty cool, so I kind of made my own. I made that. Oh, I also made these little class job lists too. So if you want that, let me know, and I can set that up somewhere so you can get that. Right above this big board is where I'm going to put my math strategies posters. These came from First Grade Lemonade on Teachers Pay Teachers, and these I think are going to be a really good resource for me to use throughout the year. And it just goes over different ways that you can model your mathematics. You can use 10 frames, number bonds, manipulatives. You can count on, count back, do part, whole, find missing part. Those are just the ones that I have up now. They have tons more, like using doubles, doubles plus one, doubles minus one. Just so many different strategies that I'm going to be adding as we use the strategies throughout the school year, so they can refer back to it once it's been explicitly taught. So I'm going to have those posters up there, and then right below, this is where I'm going to be doing my calendar math, and then right here is where I'm going to have my math focus wall. So whatever unit that we're on for that week, I'm going to have an anchor chart, vocabulary words, the strategies that we're going to be using that week, all right here on that math focus wall. This wall right here is blank, but in the near future, I'm going to have a bulletin board right here so I can put some more stuff. I'm thinking I'm either going to put brag tags right there, or I might put a science and social studies focus wall right there, just so I have a place for it. I don't have anywhere else to put it except for right here. So if I want to do a science or social studies focus wall, that's where it'll go. And then turning on this corner right here, this is just some more math reference stuff. I have shapes up there. I have a 110s frame right there. I think I'm going to put birthdays right here, and then right here is where I'm going to have my ELA center wheel. So whenever we have our intervention, I'm going to have 4 groups. These groups are not going to be my small groups. These are not going to be based on ability. They're going to be mixed ability, where my high kids will be mixing with my low kids, so that way my low kids have that extra support if they need it. And then this wall right here is just going to be the different options that they have. I told you guys I had 4 options. I had read to self, technology, phonics tubs, and word work. I'm sorry, not word work, writing, sorry. So read to self, technology, phonics tubs, and writing. And there's going to be like read to self, technology, word work, writing, read to self, technology, phonics tubs, writing. And my kids will have those 2 options to choose from. And within those 2 options, so let's say we have a yellow group is read to self or technology. They can either read to themselves, whatever book they have in their book boxes. So they're going to have their library book plus the 6 of my books. So they have 7 books to choose from if they want to read. Or they could do technology on the iPad, and they can do any type of ELA apps that we'll use in our classroom. And then the same with phonics tubs and writing. With the phonics tubs, you've seen I have about 5 different phonics tub activities they can do with that, or they can do writing, which involves handwriting, writing prompts, write the room, just all different types of things that they can do. I really enjoy having that choice built in, so that way they never get bored. Right below that, this is where I'm going to be storing my cushion seats when we are using our flexible seating options. These are going to be the very first ones that I use, so they're going to be sitting all around the room. Wherever they want to sit on the floor, they can sit there, and we're going to explicitly model the first week of school, how we use those, how we get them, how we put them away, how we sit on them, how we use them when we're doing our work, just all different types of things that we can do with that. And then once they've shown me they can master sitting on there, I'll just add more options that they can choose from. Right here's where I store all my math manipulatives. So counters, 6-sided dice, 8-sided dice, 10-sided dice, 12-sided dice, 20-sided dice, 24-sided dice. I have 30-sided dice. I have Dyson dice. Just all different types of stuff in there that we could use. And I mainly use those for my math stations that'll be right here. Right here is my I'm not finished bin. So whenever they have work that they are not done with and they do not want to put it in the turn-in bin, they'll put it in these bins right here so that they can finish it. And these are labeled, one for every student. And whenever we do start our centers, or whenever we do have some like indoor recess time, they have to make sure that their I'm not finished bins are completely empty before they can do anything else. Just so that way they're not having things from 2 or 3 weeks ago and I'm not finished bin, and then when they get to it, they're like, oh, I don't know what to do with it. You need to get it done right then and there before you do any other type of activities. Underneath, like I said, these are the math centers I'm going to be having. Underneath those are my individual math toolkits for my kids. So every kid has going to have their own math toolkit, and in those math toolkits, they'll have their own Unifix cubes, their own counters, their own dice, their own pattern blocks, their own base 10 blocks, the units, the rods, the flats. They'll have their own money in there when we talk about money. So just a whole bunch of different manipulatives that they'll be able to use throughout the year. And like I said, they all have their individual ones, so that way we're not having to argue over whose is whose. All right, moving over, right here we have our bathroom. Pretty plain and simple. But on the door right here, I do kind of have some reference things that they can use. So I have a map of the United States right here. I have handwriting, alphabet, and numbers just to refer back to if they need it. And then I have all this counter space right here. This is empty right now, but what this is going to store are lunch boxes for my kids that do bring a lunch box to school. I have my refrigerator right here. I have storage right here that I'm going to be putting different snacks and stuff in for me and my kids whenever, I haven't decided if we're going to have like a snack time yet or not. But if we do, one of those will be designated for my kids, and then the other two are going to be for me when I store like just different lunch options for me. Right here are some more of my kids' book boxes. Next to that is a nurse station, so I have different Band-Aids, boo-boo cream, which is literally just a little bit of lotion. Germex right there, tissues. I have a manual pencil sharpener. Then I have all this cabinet space right here. All this cabinet space is just different supplies that I have, and I labeled it just so it'll be easier for me to kind of find what I need. This is the outdoor wall. This is the outside door. And if you want to look, I think I kind of looked up because I have 2 playgrounds that I can go to, so how lucky am I? This is the official one that I go to though, but sometimes I like to switch it up and go to that one. All right, so this is the infamous word wall that a lot of you guys have told me that you absolutely love. Thank you guys so much. If you notice, still haven't moved that clothespin. And at this point, I'm just not even gonna worry about it. It's just gonna be too much of a hassle to kind of get down. So I guess just don't stay like that. Right here's my writing station. These 2 organizers right here just have different utensils. These are sharpened pencils, dull pencils, highlighters, different crayons and smelly crayons. These are just random crayons if they need a color. Pencil sharpener, and just some more writing tools. My library with my level readers and my themed books. And those labels, I think I told you guys before, I made those too as well. Along with all these readers right here. My writing focus wall. This is my easel that I'll be using for whole group when we're at the carpet right here. And then right here, I'll back up just a little bit so you can kind of get it all. Right here is where my alphabet is. I made those posters as well. I make a lot of stuff if you guys can't tell. This is my schedule from last year. I'm kind of deciding if I still want to use this schedule, just create different times, if I want to do something completely different with it. It's not going to be right here. I had it right here on this wall last year, but since it's going to be a focus wall, I'm not really sure where I want to put it. But for now, I'm just keeping it right there just so I know if I still want to use it, it's right there for me. I have this right here that I actually made with just washi tape, and it's just going to be how my kids pick their lunch choices for the day. So we'll have 3 lunch choices in a lunchbox. So the first 2 are always going to be hot options. This third one right here is going to be cold, and then this one is lunchbox. And these are my supply buddies that I use whenever I show my kids what supplies we need. So I have my Smorgasboard right here, my stage. This is my cool seat that I got from my team teacher. She actually had a van that she got rid of, but she still had this seat. And when she noticed that I was doing flexible seating, she asked me if I wanted it. Definitely told her yes. And as soon as I sat in it, I just knew that I was gonna want to sit in it all the time. So I just designated it as my flexible seating option and nobody else's. So sorry guys, it's just for me. But just know, believe me when I say it is the most comfortable chair in this room. These are my 2 language walls and phonics walls. I think I'm going to actually keep my language wall right here, move the phonics right under it, so I'll have like a little spot for language, a little spot for phonics, and I'm going to make that my reading wall. So when we do different reading strategies, I have a place to do that. Right here is where I'm going to have my pocket chart stand. I got this from a team teacher, the same one that gave me this seat right here. She didn't have a use for this, and I was like, oh, I was literally just about to buy a PVC pipe and try and be a builder and make a pocket chart stand. But since I have that, I'm just going to use that as my pocket chart stand, and I'm going to have it pocket charts on both sides. So one on this side, one on that side. So I'll have 2 stations for that. This is kind of like my tech hub. I have my school printer, my personal printer, my laminator, my laptop, my Elmo, just all my tech stuff is right here. And this is going to be kind of like my little nook. So my kids won't be able to go through here. But right beside it is where they're going to store like their library card, their Clever login cards, their Prodigy logins. All that stuff is going to be in those little pockets right there. I have some more of my kids' book bins and then my individual supplies. So I told you guys before that we're going to have different flexible seating options. Now, if you look around, I have some places where they can collaborate with other students. And at those places, I kind of have community supplies, and I already have those set out. So they have 2 packs of crayons, they have scissors, glue, erasers. I'm actually going to get some pencil pouches and put these supplies in there along with their pencils, so that way it looks a little bit more neat. But for any seating option that they are by themselves, so if they're sitting at that seat by themselves right there, or if they're wanting to use one of these cushions right here, or if they want to use that video rocker, they can get their individual supplies from their supply box and take that box with them to their seats. That way they have their supplies just like the people that have their community supplies have that available to them. Up top right here, I have my reading strategies posters. These posters also came from First Grade Lemonade, along with the math strategies posters. I got these when they were on sale. They were like $3 and some change, but I think the original price was only like $4. So I mean, I didn't really get like a deal on them. So if you guys want to use these, they are, I think, pretty well priced. You just have to print them and laminate them. They do come in different color options, and I think in black and white too. And then one of them actually goes even further, and it has different fonts that you can use. So just depending on how you want it to look, it has all those options in there. All right, so one of the last places I have before we get back to the door is my small group table. So just to let you know, this is my only table. I don't have a teacher desk. I don't want a teacher desk. I don't sit down. I'm always up. I'm always walking around. So what's the point of having it if I'm always going to be up? And I really only have this just for my small group. If we never did small groups in school, I wouldn't probably even have this table for me to sit at. So this is where I'm going to hold my math small groups and my reading small groups. If you look at each seat, I have a dry erase board for them to use. And I also have a hundreds chart reference and then decoding strategies for each one. So whether we're working on math or reading, they always have something they can refer back to. And I also have a board at my seat so I can model different stuff for them if I need to. I have my chair right here, and on the other side of my chair, I have another organizer, which the first couple have just different supplies. And then I have to clean some of these out, but from I think the second orange down, I'm going to be using for my reading and math small groups. So all types of stuff for my individual groups like that, I'm going to have these drawers for. I have some pens, more pens, Sharpies. I have different supplies right here. And then down here is kind of like where I keep a bunch of data. I have some stamps right here if I want to stamp my kids' work. And then these are some stuff that I use for when I take different notes and stuff to the office, or if I need to send up lunch money, there are little pouches in there that I could put that stuff in to send to the front office. And I even went far enough to put this bright sentence strip with my name and my grade on it, so that way they know it's from me. But yeah, that's that. And then behind me, I have my objectives board. So whatever objectives that we're working on, they'll be posted right here. And this came from Learning in Wonderland. I don't know how much it was because I bought it so long ago, but that's what I'm using for my objectives. And it's just, these are laminated, the different content areas are laminated, but these right here are just regular pieces of paper, and they are in sheet protectors. So sorry, I had to fix that. And they're just in sheet protectors, and I'll just write on dry erase with a dry erase marker what our objectives are, so that way it'll be super easy for me to kind of write out and clean up. Right here is where we have our clip chart for my class. So whenever they need to clip up or clip down, this is where they'll go to do that. And then a lot of you guys have been asking about what's behind these curtains in my comments on the other videos. So all I have back here is just storage where my kids put their backpacks, and I have a closet back here. So this is just all different storage. So I have all types of different math manipulatives. I have art supplies, office supplies, ELA stuff, different teacher manuals and instructional content. Right here is where my kids put their backpacks, and I have some extra hooks right here if I need it. And then I also have these milk crates right here if I still need some for some more students. And this right here is just some different games down here, some books, and then more instructional content that we actually aren't even going to be using this year. So this storage right here is just basically useless. And then on the other side right here is my closet. Just have a bunch of different stuff in here. Sorry, it's a mess, but y'all asked to know, and I'm showing you. So that's that. And then go ahead and close that off. I'll just come back around. And that's it for my classroom. So I'm just going to take you one more time. I'll sit in the middle of the room. I'm just going to take you around one more time. And yeah, that's my room. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you have any questions about anything, or if I've kind of missed something that you want to know more about, just let me know in the comments and I'll try my best to explain it to you. And I hope to see you guys in the next video.